Hello? Hello? Hold on. I've just popped out my YouTube chat. Good morning, Chris. Hope you've been well. Yep. Hello, everyone. I don't know if I actually want to do it like this. I've just popped out the chat. Hello, Manar. Hello, Hot Ham Radio. Hello, Pavitra. Hello, Ali Ibrahim. Hello, everyone. McGee. Hello, lol. Terrible news. Terrible news today. Biden's sick. Joseph Biden. He's sick. A good man. One of the best men of our times.
Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden. This message from Mohammed Khanaqin for First of Kurdistan for you, Joe Biden. You go check up in the doctor. You have 2 years. Your life is 2 years. 2 years from now, from today to 2 years or 1 year and 6 months or 2 years. Your life. After this one, you pass away. You go check up in the doctor. This message from Mohammed Khanaqin for First of Kurdistan.
Mohammed Khanaqin.
You do good job for the USA, for the 50th state in 2 years. You do pull down Iran for us. We want a Kurdistan new country.
Right, so that's that done. What was bro cooking? That video was posted. It was posted 4 years ago, I think, actually. It wasn't posted 2 years ago, 2020, 2021. And I think, he was cooking something, though. He knew maybe the prostate cancer's been there for longer. And if oh, goodness me. Oh, God. Perhaps if he'd heeded the warnings of the Kurdish man, then things would have been better. I'm going to be hella parasocial right now and say, love your work, Chris. I don't think that would be parasocial. I think if you said that you loved me, that would be more parasocial. But, yeah. Karma coming hard for Biden. I'm not so sure about that. I don't think karma really got to Biden. Biden's been alive for like 1 billion years and he's dead now, or he's dying now. I'm not sad though, I'm sorry, he facilitated the Gaza genocide, allowed it to happen. And so when people sit there and they're like, oh, he's this, he's that, I just don't really have much sympathy for him. The things that happened in Gaza, ridiculous, unbelievable, things he oversaw and did, awful. I don't know how regularly you have prostate exams. Who fucking knows? Is that why he's dying? Because it's spread to his bones? I don't know, and I haven't even checked. The BBC is such a strange organisation. What we know about Biden's cancer diagnosis, Yang Tian and James Chatter. Biden received the news on Friday after he saw his doctor last week for urinary symptoms. Here's what you need to know. Prostate cancer. The grade and stage are more advanced than most men would encounter. Goodness me. Nature has already spread to his bones, according to Jameen Vinod Brahmhamlet, a urologist at Orlando Health Medical Group. Yeah, Prem Seeker, I don't even know who Prem Seeker is, I'm afraid. Hold on. I do know Prem Seeker, actually, I think. What did Prem Seeker drop a video about? Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Who fucking knows? He's something called metastasis. Yeah, bro, you think I don't know what metastasis is? I've seen Breaking Bad, mate. So come on, lad. The cancer, come on, lad. Stop making assumptions about me. Being 82-year-old doesn't help. I mean, Biden, who cares? Honestly, I don't care. I don't care. Biden didn't do... I know some people said that economically he was a relatively progressive president, but he didn't actually fix, really, the problems that Americans are facing. So, you know, and ultimately didn't even uplift many Americans. So what can you really say? Yeah, Biden is sick. I've seen cancer with my own eyes. Yeah, in the TV show Breaking Bad, you know. I've made a video about Gary Lineker. I don't think what Gary Lineker did was anti-Semitic. I mean, we can put it up. Gary Lineker is like one of the UK's most... He's a pretty good footballer in his time. He played for like Tottenham Hotspur, Leicester, and he's been on he's been on Match of the Day, which is like our national football rewatch thing once a week. And he lost his job, which has been part of a much longer campaign, for sharing this video that had a rat edited onto it.
Claim that it's theirs, and then they make concessions on land that doesn't actually belong to them. The Zionist movement and Zionism on the ground is the idea of creating not only a Jewish state, but at the expense of the indigenous Palestinian
Is there any way I can like expand this, or do we have to watch it like this?
population. What Zionism is the idea of privileging and giving exclusive rights to one group of...
Well, yeah, the rat emoji has unfortunate connotations, but look at the video that Gary Level is sharing. It's not actually anti-Semitic, is it? Like, it's literally someone explaining Zionism.
people at the expense of another group of people. This isn't liberal. This isn't relating to equality. There isn't a single Zionist who's able to say that they actually believe that Palestinians have the exact same rights as Israelis who are living in that country. And this is the fundamental problem with Zionism. The fact that we're trying to make a distinction between what happened in 48 and what happened in 67 is a false distinction to be making. Zionism, as its fundamental core, is the idea of privileging one group of people over another. And the way that they created a Zionist state in the first place was...
Like, if Gary Lineker had shared a video that was like, Jewish people are taking over the world and they're... In fact, even if he'd shared like a vaguely pro-Palestine video that had something that was like, Jewish people have taken over the world and control Western governments, and it had a rat on it, it would probably be more anti-Semitic, or it would at least have connotations to it, if it was like inflating the control that Israel and Jewish people had over the entire world. But the truth is that this is a video explaining Zionism that someone put a fucking rat emoji on. It's like... It would... There's not even really a comparison. It would be like sharing something that was like explaining the experience of black people that had a monkey emoji on. If someone said, actually, hey, I didn't realize the monkey emoji was on there and it was talking about a genuine experience of black people, I don't think most people would see it as racist, but it's hard to really find a comparison because you don't really find many other examples like this, because what this person is saying is ultimately not anti-Semitic. It is literally dismantling Zionism.
to expel
I do actually support Chelsea, yes.
millions of...
But Gary Lineker was a very important football player and person, you know, in a lot of young people's lives.
hundreds of thousands, now millions of Palestinian refugees, including my
Yeah, that's the interesting part. I wondered what the fuck Gary Lineker had shared, and it took a while to find, but it's this.
family. And the way that you create a bigger Zionist state is to do the exact same process. I think that it's important to...
The emoji isn't here because the video that had the emoji on... Hold on, I'll show you it. I can't even find it. I'm gonna have to go on fucking X. It's a funny video about people from UK not having any sex. Sorry, I probably shouldn't laugh about this because it is quite sickening, but who the fuck... who the fuck makes this shit? Who makes this shit? Like, who's like... Yeah, Gary Lineker is akin to a member of fucking Hezbollah. It's just dog shit. And also, the person's wrong. Gary Spedding is a member of Hezbollah, not Hamas. And also, BM had quite a few good tweets about this. So, like, this whole thing about anti-Semitic tropes. So, Gary Lineker was going to step down from his job anyway for comments about Palestine. But... the thing is that this is much wider. Found you from Noah's stream yesterday. Oh, and someone else mentioned that earlier. Thank you very much. Yeah, I really enjoyed being on Noah's stream, and if people can watch today, then I'd highly recommend it. But yeah, these are like the stuff that they've shared of Palestinians as rats, and Palestinians are the people being exterminated, portrayed as monsters. But yeah, it's just being dehumanized in a sense to justify mass extermination. That's not happening to Israelis. Israelis aren't being mass exterminated. But, you know, people who make these comparisons, no one cares. And also, I was looking at this photo. Why did they make Sinwar black? Like, this one's weird. Like, they gave him rat ears and made him black. Like, Israelis are just insanely racist. Oh yeah, and also there was this song, Harbu Darbu, which was like it's by some Israeli. I'm not going to play it because we don't need to listen to Israeli genocide music. It's just them. Dor Stiller made a song called Harbu Darbu, which has a line about come out a bunch of fucker mice come out of the burrow. And yeah, like these are the people, you know, sharing this, and they're probably talking positively about Gary Lineker losing his job today. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. I'm trying to find Gary Lineker rat. Yeah, I know Israelis love blackface, but it's just mad. I'm trying to find this rat. There it is. Here it is. Right. So it has like a fucking Zionism explained in less than 2 minutes, and then it has just this rat. That's literally it. That's apparently what the most anti-Semitic thing in the world is. And I genuinely think, like, Gary Lineker's a bit of a fucking liberal. He's not someone who's, like, you know, radically pro-Palestine. But even just showing, like, a tiny bit of pro-Palestine... my friend, I say my friend, he's someone I vaguely know through another person, but I like his analysis some of the time. Actually, a decent amount of the time. I think he was pretty correct on Syria. And he's got a Lahane profile picture, cover photo. I think that this guy's a pretty good source. He spoke about Gary Lineker today. Yeah, Gary Lineker is a mainstream liberal figure, a friend and business partner of the war criminal Alistair Campbell. That's true, by the way. Gary Lineker literally they're all part of, like, I think they're called Goalhanger Productions, and they produce The Rest Is Politics and The Rest Is The Rest Is series, and The Rest Is Politics is literally run by fucking war criminal Alistair Campbell. And yeah, like Gary Lineker, yet such is extreme and restricted nature of public discourse in the UK. Merely him seeing Palestinians as human beings is worthy of mourning. Worthy of mourning is now beyond the pale. Like, that's all he really did. It's ridiculous, you know. Yeah.
Keep in mind that between the period of 1948 and...
We don't have to watch the rest of this. This is all stuff that I talk about quite regularly. So it's just like a decent-ish video explaining what's happening. And then, I mean, someone posted... This guy's quite, like, post some, like, generally stuff that's happening in the UK. Where does this not work?
Of Gaza's population is children. I mean, the children are given priority, so it feels like we're operating on sort of 75% children at the moment. These kids are tiny, they're underweight, they're malnourished.
I was just speaking with Rory and Alistair on their stream. What they streamed, are they? I didn't fucking know that. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's all just a big stink over nothing, but it's always going to work, isn't it? You know, I'm sorry, that video is actually just horrible quality. But I mean, actually, we could just read the quote, actually, as opposed to that. Victoria Rose speaking from Gaza. We're operating on 75% children. These are tiny, underweight, malnourished. They've got such significant life-changing injuries, lost limbs, disfiguring facial injuries, and the burns catastrophic. I mean, yeah, it's just sort of like, on the one hand, we're listening to that Gary Lineker has done something wrong for showing a basic amount of sympathy to Palestinians and not being willing to, like, speak, you know, completely unequivocally in favour of this, unequivocally in favour of Israel. And I mean, this is also Maureen Lipman, who is a British actor. She's in a famous Holocaust film called The Pianist with Adrian Brody. And this is what she said, and she's not, you know, seen as awful.
Now, I mean, I may be naive, Simon, but I don't understand the right to return. Because as far as I can see, nobody in history has ever had the right to return. Who's had the right to return?
It's quite ironic that she's saying this when the whole Zionist project is based on the concept of Aliyah, which is like making... What does Aliyah directly translate to? Is it like pilgrimage or something? Ascent or rise, going up, that's it. I mean, it obviously means like Zionist settlement, but they literally believe they're returning. Hello, JP. Hello, everyone.
I mean, from day one, we've been pillaging...
No muting so far. All of you missed it. There was only like 30 seconds where I was muted at the start and no one was here, and I just turned it off really quickly.
Other people's countries and never giving it back. Rhodesia, it was grabbed from us. The empire was grabbed.
Like, also, that's a fucking mad statement. Rhodesia was grabbed from us, as in, a brutal colony that marginalised the people who actually live there, the natives.
Gave it back. Nobody does that. It's just, we've got so much to give the world. So just stop picking on us, singling us out as a pariah state. That was given. That was not taken. It was given.
It was given and taken. In order for Israel to exist, it had to take from the indigenous people. It always did. When it was given, it was basically given with the fact that the indigenous people's rights and like ability to live on the land was taken away from them. Like everything was to be taken them. Am I late? No, you're only like 15 minutes late. I've basically just been talking about stuff. Yeah, she's a very famous actor in the UK. I've not thought that she looked like a stuffed puppet. Incognito. I mean, it probably just makes more sense to be incognito, right? I feel like.
And
also the people, as someone said, it was given by thieves. Yeah, the people giving it had no right to give it.
The United Nations is about as useful as a Eurovision Song Contest and as corrupt. And you have a situation in the world where...
She's pretty based for her Eurovision Song Contest thing. I got an advert from Israel Eurovision. I've never ever seen this before, but that's maybe because you don't get, because I don't watch it. But I got like yeah. There's, hold on, someone's posted it here. I got this, and it's like it's also pretty ambiguous that it doesn't really show what country it is. I got this advert on YouTube saying, vote for New Day Will Rise, vote 04. Unless you searched up that was Israel, you wouldn't know. So maybe some moron who's going to vote on the Eurovision Song Contest would be voting for it. And yeah, Eurovision is garbage. I don't give a fuck about Eurovision aside from Israel being in it.
Intelligent people accept that there are 60-odd resolutions against this tiny, besieged nation of Israel.
Tiny besieged nation, horrifying settler colony.
And I think maybe one against Syria. Maybe none against China, 500 executions a year, censorship. I don't know that there are any.
500 executions, censorship. Brilliant. I mean, there are many states that aren't targeted by the UN. Like, the best example is Egypt and the Rabat massacre. Egypt massacred 1,000 people in one day, and because we're allies with them, no one gave a fuck, you know? Like, literally, it's just as simple as that. 1,000 people killed in a day. 1,000 people killed in a day, and no one cared because they're in a good relationship with Israel.
Any against Russia, who have just marched into another country and taken it, but there are 60-odd, including one about women's positions in Israel. This is all, voted against by people who don't allow women to drive.
By the way, the only country that doesn't allow women to drive is our really close ally, Saudi Arabia. Well, I mean, probably the Taliban don't allow that as well, I don't know. But women are... Also, this is a pretty stupid statement because women actually are allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia now. They were allowed in, 2020 or something. I mean, it doesn't change women's position within Saudi society, but it's just really stupid.
Make them cover their heads with black bags. So, Jonathan Swift would have a heyday coming back in today's society. It makes no sense.
And yeah, this person is just regularly allowed to appear in stuff. Her views aren't held to account, and I feel like she's much stronger than Gary Lineker on what she says that's pro-Israel, and she goes to protest, but I guess she's not in such a prominent position because she's boring. Fucking hell, here's some interesting news if any of you are Moroccans in here. I don't know if any of you are. But the people who did the massacre in Rafah of the 15 aid workers are now just having a holiday in Morocco. The Sayeret Golani, which means Golani Reconnaissance, I believe, and rescue personnel just 2 months ago is now in Rafah, is now in Agadir, Morocco. Out of all IOF units, Morocco chose to host them. Sorry, excuse me. Not only have they faced no consequences, but they're being welcomed. It's an outrage. It's a disgrace. This is a slap in the face to justice. Kind of fucking mad. They're just sort of African lions. Very fucking weird. All weird. I mean, these countries' collaboration with Israel is unbelievable. Gary Lineker should have not apologised. I mean, he probably should have said, hey, I know that this could have had anti-Semitic overtones, but I didn't share it with that intention. And anti-Semitism is about targeting Jewish people on the basis of Judaism, but it's not that, you know? It was not about targeting Jewish people on the basis of Judaism, you know? It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. I mean, there's been some other fucking awful... right, I'll just actually answer some questions. Morocco was one of the countries... Morocco did normalise relations with Israel during the Abraham Accords. And in return, I think it was that basically their sovereignty was recognised over the Sahara. Yeah, that is literally it. It'll say on here. Oh, goodness me. Western Sahara. Yeah, in exchange for Israelis' recognition of Israeli sovereignty, the US recognized Moroccan sovereignty over the Western Sahara. This is all it fucking is for Trump, by the way. It's just, it's just basically these things. It's just basically in return for one thing, you get another. And in my understanding, Morocco shouldn't have sovereignty over the Western Sahara, and the experience of the Sahrawi is just awful. But it's never been my area of expertise, I'll be honest with you. It's just utterly ridiculous. I'm just going through and seeing if there's anything else I want to talk about on this. Sorry, what did Netanyahu's atting Bezalel Smotrich and saying, you spoke the truth. I wonder what he said. God, also, by the way, you know, all these people who are like, Eurovision is awesome. Eurovision is awesome. Like, it's just about Israel and being proud of it. Here's fucking Bezalel Smotrich saying, thank you, Yuval. The people of Israel live, so Am Israel High. Am Yisrael High? I think it is. I don't fucking know. What is happening? I'm just talking about loads of different things. Here in Algeria, banned for a long time. Did you not know that? Morocco signed on to the Abraham Accords. It's part of the. I was talking to Noah about this. Part of the reason for October the 7th was the Abraham Accords, in a sense, because the Abraham Accords are basically, as I said, a means of doing diplomacy that doesn't involve Palestinians. And so, by virtue of doing this, you kind of end up in a position where Palestinians feel marginalized. And Moroccan here, sad you know nothing. It's not that I know nothing about Morocco, it's just it's never been somewhere that I've studied that much. It's obviously like people, I never pretend to be this. I don't know everything about everything, and anyone who tells you that they are, they're the best that they can be is a jack of all trades and a master of none, and they can just watch videos in front of you and take their opinions from videos. My opinions on things like Palestine, politics of the Middle East, things like the Gulf and stuff is developed through years of studying it. I do wish I knew more about Morocco, but yeah. I doubt Al Maghrib is a Loner Box fan, but yeah, I just wish I could offer you more, you know. I wish I could offer more. And I mean, the funny thing is once upon a time, because these countries are ruled by dictators, increasingly after 9/11, they've just seen it's better to be in proximity with America, you know. Hi from Iran. Salam Marzadiya Ali Madadi. Hola shoma khube. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I mean, these people signing it up, not great. So Israel also, basically, this is also part of what, the UAE wants. The UAE wants basically countries that are ruled by dictators who are willing to normalize with Israel. And exactly. I think the whole point is like, I'm still doing research and I'm not going to pretend. I can't tell you what opinions to have. I can't tell you everything about the world. I can't give you the correct opinion on everything. I can't predict everything. I can make like guesses about what's going to happen, but the truth is no one is going to predict it. Anyone who comes out and pretends to be the like Jack the lad who knows everything is just lying to you. Is the truth. They're like, people like that don't know. No one knows. None of us really know. Like, as I said on Noah's stream, no one saw the fall of Assad coming. Like, no one did in the way it happened in a matter of days. Thank you for not brainwashing us. Like, yeah, I mean, as I say, like, my comments on Palestine comes from years of understanding. You are my world. Thank you, Der Reide. What would you say to someone who's doing philosophy and politics in September to Exeter, who wants to go down? Try and talk to a guy called Ahmed Dailami at Exeter. He's a very interesting professor. He's interested in like Lacan and political philosophy of the Middle East. And if you're interested in like really going down some bizarre philosophy, he's an interesting guy to try and have a meeting with. I'd recommend talking to him. His name's Ahmed Dailami. Big influence on me. Probably someone that people don't know as much about, but yeah. I do want to read about Gulf state history, but I feel like I just get sad about. Well, the Gulf state history is actually quite interesting because the Gulf is filled with like a lot of assumptions about the Gulf being kind of like a homogenous place that has a lot of political quietism that's sort of certain ways. But yeah, it's very different, and I don't think it would make you mad. I think it's more of a story of sadness about what could have changed and could have been. And also, once upon a time, the leaders of the Gulf had different-ish opinions to now, but they were always dictatorial regimes, always dictated by the whims and wills of just a couple of people, which is always going to lead to like basically a problematic scenario. Okay, so I guess the sort of main thing that I really wanted to talk about today is oh, wait, what was this TikTok? Oh, yeah, actually, wait, there's this thing I wanted to talk about, which is by the New York Times.
There's a plan to shut down pro-Palestinian activism in the U.S., and it's called Project Esther.
So, someone told me to talk about this. Yeah, I can write down the prof name. His name is Ahmed Dailami. I'd only bother trying to contact him if you're at Exeter, because he's quite busy, but he's one of the better professors at Exeter, in my opinion. So that's his name. Actually, I won't pin it. But yeah, like, he's someone you'd meet in person, really. But yeah, if you're going to Exeter and you're studying it, I'd recommend that, to be honest. What do you think about Iran? Is it going to war? I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about that later, actually. I'll answer that question more in full.
The idea for Project Esther came out.
But, Ahmed is someone, yeah, walking through Walmart. Bro, 20-second delay. Good noticing. You're beginning to notice. We'll watch this video, though. Did you ever learn about Gertrude Bell? Yeah, we had like a fucking exhibition about her. I know bits and pieces about her, but Iraq's not really my area of study. I know a bit about the Kurds in the 1990s and the sort of Saddam's genocide of them. I'll probably be streaming for about 2 hours, I'd say.
Out of a task force that was started shortly after October 7th. Project Esther is a blueprint published by the Heritage Foundation, which is the conservative think tank that also spearheaded Project 2020.
By the way, as we get into this video, now, I'm no expert in Project Esther because their thing is really fucking long. But, basically, this is kind of like, this is the kind of shit that Ethan Klein is working in service of.
Heritage describes Project Esther as a national strategy to combat anti-Semitism. Interestingly, there weren't many Jewish groups involved. Instead, it was...
Interesting. There weren't many Jewish groups involved because none of these people care about None of these people care about Jewish people. Look, actually, wait. The Philos Project. This is part of it. So that woman who was upset and angry about me, Esther hasn't been that long a thing. It's been about like a year. AIPAC doesn't even seem to be that involved with it. This is more, I think the Heritage Foundation has like a longer history of sort of being crazy. But the main thing is they talk about this thing called like the Hamas support network of basically linking people to Hamas. And it's literally what Ethan Klein did in his video about Hassan. He's like, well, Hassan interviewed a Houthi, so he's, all these things, and he supports the Houthis, basically, like materially.
Was mostly right-wing groups and some Christian groups as well. Project Esther uses terms...
That's it. So my interview with Abdul Razak Takriti, he was like, look into this. They'll say that you're a Hamas support network figure.
And Hamas Support Network and HSO, Hamas Support Organization, to rebrand what they call the so-called pro-Palestinian movement. That includes groups that have organized pro-Palestinian protests, such as Jewish Voice for Peace.
Ah, yes, the famous Hamas support network, Jewish Voice for Peace.
And then other large nonprofits. The ultimate goal of Project Esther is to dismantle this entire network within 12 to 24 months. And when this document was published, they said they were ready to go once there was a willing administration occupying the White House. President Trump's administration and Republicans have called for actions that appear to mirror over half of the goals outlined in Project Esther, like purging what they call propaganda from curricula.
It's also because this just fits really well with right-wing stuff, because the pro-Palestinian movement undermines the narrative that, like, basically, you know, that like Zionism is just this awesome, amazing thing, that it just has a right to exist. You know, I deserve more subs. Yeah, I deserve billions of subscribers. Perhaps I should be the first ever 10 billion subscribed YouTuber. More people than on the planet. You'll better get making second accounts so we can smash that subscriber number. Yeah, I think constituent is probably the. Can we use a Z though? Constituent. Because then it sounds like less than constituent. Constituent, maybe an S. Constituent. Yeah, I like it.
Targeted faculty and
billions must subscribe. Billions will join the so-called Hamas support network on YouTube.
Staff are fired. In deporting some pro-Palestinian
God, it is actually mad how much of this. I mean, Abdul Razak Takriti told me this will be implemented. Yeah.
Advocates from the U.S. Since President Trump took office, his administration has blocked billions of dollars in federal funding from universities. They've moved to deport pro-Palestinian activists and revoke their visas. And they've started monitoring online social media content of immigrants for anti-Semitism. Heritage won't comment on closed-door meetings with the administration, although they say they do meet with them regularly. But one author of Project Esther told me that it's no coincidence that Project Esther was published in the fall and that months later we're seeing the actions we're seeing today.
So this is what a Palestinian historian said to me in... this is what Abdul Razak Takriti said to me a while ago.
And I would encourage your listeners to start reading it because it's going to come next.
Jacob Foster here in chat came up with constituent a few streams back. Thank you, Jacob Foster. Constituent and his billion lions. Indeed, indeed.
Next. The Heritage Foundation just released a report. I don't know if you saw it. And it's talking about, they're calling it Project Esther. And apparently, that's going to be the new language they describe anti-Semitism with. They're claiming to be combating anti-Semitism. What they mean is they're combating Palestine solidarity and opposition to the genocide in Gaza. But the way they're doing it is they're claiming that anybody opposing the genocide is part of what they call Hamas Support Network, HSN. So that's the smear campaign now will be activated on a big scale. And I
obviously haven't listened to this in a while, but it's kind of pretty interesting to hear.
Encourage people to get ready for it. Because we shouldn't be afraid, but we should be ready for it. People are going to be making all sorts of ridiculous accusations, saying, oh, well, Chris hosts these Palestinian speakers, and he talks about...
This was in, like, maybe November or October of 2024.
This as a genocide, which that means it's part of HSN. Really? That's not my reading of Chris. My reading of Chris is that he's somebody who cares about the loss of human life and wants to stop that.
Right. Right. There we go, there we go, there we go. They can't stop me. Whoever turned off my internet, Ethan Klein, Lonerbox, whoever, the ICC, Microsoft, they banned my Minecraft account, but they ain't stopping me. I'm back. The second I start talking about Hamas and talking about the Project Esther, they want to turn off my internet. I mean, I was just looking at this. It's fucking bullshit. It's way too long to go through as well. Maybe I'll get a ChatGPT summary that tells me that it's really good and actually amazing. So that'll be useful. But yeah, I cannot be stopped. The people want to see me live stream and take my shirt off, so that's not going to be stopped. I'm not actually going to do that. Hummus. It's like how to pronounce hummus diabolically. I don't know what you mean there. Welcome back, 2014 YouTube. Of course I'm not going to do an AI summary. AI is fucking bullshit. AI just tells you what you want to hear, and people treat it like this big other that knows. They're like, it's kind of like fucking this thing that's just like, yeah. It gives you what you want to hear rather than what actually matters. Sorry, I'm just getting texts off people. Right. The quality is horrible, is it? No, it's not. The quality is not horrible. Do I have a maid outfit? No. I don't think the quality is horrible. I mean, yeah, this is an Eminem t-shirt, but I've had it since I was 16. I don't really like it. Hummus? Is that how you pronounce it? Hummus? من hummus دوست دارم. hummus با نان. خیلی خوب است. من فکر میکنم این خوب است. Not with the ch at the sound. Yeah. Yeah, the quality is fine. I can see it here. The quality is completely fine, unless it's the audio. At Grok, is this true? Yeah, I mean, people just treat it like this big other who knows that's going to be able to tell them exactly what to think about things, when that's not what AI does. AI is just a bunch of shit fed into it. And, like, look at Grok. Grok was being manipulated last week to basically say white South Africans are being genocided, you know. It's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous, you know. Just genuinely can't believe it, that sort of people treat it like, yeah. Okay, right, so here's some sort of breaking news, which we can watch from Sky News, because this is the sort of other topic from the title, so I should probably stick to the title. Guys, you better get liking up, because we just lost...
Gaza, this after earlier outlining plans to allow some breaking news, and in the past few moments, Israel has confirmed that 5 aid trucks, the first 5 aid trucks, have entered Gaza, this after earlier outlining plans to allow a limited amount of aid into the Strip. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu acknowledged that the decision to resume aid deliveries came after pressure from allies.
Our greatest friends in the world, senators...
To be fair, you know what? Benjamin Netanyahu is actually a way stronger survivor. Didn't he have, like, prostate cancer, and Biden didn't?
Who I know are enthusiastic supporters of Israel that I've known for 10 years.
It's also mad because, you know, you hear, like, parts of the international community aren't in, like, they claim, oh, we don't support Israel, but yeah.
Have come to me and told me this. We are giving you all the assistance to complete the victory, weapons, support your moves to eliminate Hamas, and the protection in the Security Council. There is one thing we cannot stand. We cannot accept images of hunger.
Thank you very much, Coffee Lover.
Mass hunger.
I will keep to do my best. I don't know if people saw I was at the protest and I did some interviews. I actually interviewed Jeremy Corbyn, the UK Prime Minister.
We won't be able to support you. Therefore, in order to achieve the victory, we must somehow solve the problem until...
Yeah, I'm sure that the cancer was worried about anti-Semitism allegations and was worried that its spread would be prevented if it was accused of anti-Semitism.
We establish those points, and until we build a sterile area under IDF control for the distribution of food and medicines. We need to provide some kind of bridging so that there will be no hunger.
5 aid trucks. Apparently some of them were filled with shrouds, as in, like, to cover dead people, but it remains to be seen what they actually are. I just want to see if there's any update on Al Jazeera about that.
Well, our Middle East correspondent...
I fucking hate this Alistair Bucknell guy. Sky's reporting is less biased than certain other people's, but yeah.
Alistair Bunkle.
I didn't spot you much, but there were a lot more people than I expected. They were sending like 60 before, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they were saying they were sending 60, however many they were actually sending and allowing in. They've been starving northern Gaza for ages, and it isn't going to save it. They're going to send aid to certain areas, and part of it is getting people hooked on them being the ones who distribute aid, and also allowing it in. As they say, this is, as you heard Netanyahu said, this has nothing to do with Israel caring about Palestinians or wanting to stop the starvation. The whole actual point is that, basically... they're a little worried about international pressure. That's the truth.
Paul joins me from Jerusalem. Good evening, Alistair. So aid has started going in, we're told, but I see already the UN aid chief says it's a drop in the ocean of what is urgently needed. Significantly more aid must be allowed into Gaza starting Tuesday, so starting tomorrow.
Yeah, the UN says that 9 of its trucks have been cleared to enter Gaza. I think Reuters are reporting that 5 have already entered. I mean, 9 or 5. Drop in the ocean is the...
Yeah, this is the whole purpose of this is literally just to let some in, to remove some pressure, and so fucking idiots like... I mean, I literally think that Loner Box's stream title is like Aid Enters Gaza or something. Israel orders immediate renewal of aid under US pressure. It's not under US pressure, it's because there is like a... By the way, you also saw all of these people come out and say recently, like a lot of organizations come out and say, hey, Israel is doing genocide, they're starving people. Israel is doing this to control the narrative and be like, well, we're not starving people. It's why there's also been an aggressive campaign of saying, hey, look at this Palestinian ice cream shop that still exists in one part of Gaza. In my understanding, 2 million people are being denied food as a whole, but there are some places which have more aid than others and kind of better scenarios, only vaguely better. I mean, still, people are being denied the right to lead a normal life, but certain places have like more reserves. But yeah,
is the right terminology. I think most aid organisations include
1 for every 400,000 people. Yeah, I mean, it's a mad way to describe it.
The United Nations estimate that it needs somewhere between 500 and 600 trucks every single day entering Gaza and from multiple points, north, centre and south, in order to alleviate the suffering for the population there. So, whilst we mustn't, ignore the development, and that is that...
While we mustn't ignore the development,
After 11 weeks of effectively a siege on Gaza, some aid is now getting in. It is an absolute tiny, tiny amount at the moment.
Yeah, it's 100% it's 100% a small drop of aid.
We'll see whether or not that escalates tomorrow and more aid can get in. But I mean, the signs are bad.
Sorry, a soft power PR thing. I know. Shout out Noah. I'm really. He's raised 300k actually.
Firstly, the Israelis are expanding their ground operations quite quickly, particularly around Khan Yunis, which is not very far from the crossing where the aid goes into. So that is going to make the delivery of aid very tricky. It's going to make it pretty dangerous as well. And then, of course, I mean, the risk of looting those aid trucks when they go in is going to be very high, given the desperation of people to get their hands on food and supplies. So, it's still a very, very imperfect situation.
Imperfect situation. Brilliant description from Alistair fucking Bucknell.
And then you got the...
Because by the way, I was looking at this thing. I saw something of him. He went in with the IDF and just like parroted what they were saying, the IOF.
The prospect of...
He did like some genocide tourism, basically. Not as bad as Douglas Murray, but yeah.
This organisation called the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation that is supposed to establish aid delivery within the next week or so. Now, it's an independent organisation that's been approved by the Israelis. It's got the backing of the Americans, but that's about it. There's a statement that's been released within the last half an hour or so, signed by 25 countries, including the UK, Australia, Canada, France, Sweden, Spain, New Zealand, Norway, etc., all basically criticising this new idea of getting aid in, saying that it should be done through the established aid organisations like the United Nations.
The whole point is like you're signing fucking letters whilst there's a Holocaust going on, Like literally 2 million people are being starved and you are doing this. You are writing letters. No more letters. No arms, no nothing. No aid to Israel. Cut all trade relations, all of these things, ban them from international competitions. That's the only way to go forward, Would you interview Ben from Ben and Jerry's? I mean, Ben Cohen. I mean, I don't think he'd want to be interviewed by me. I don't think he's a big enough. I'm a big enough creator.
And others who've got ground knowledge, they have the infrastructure in place to deliver aid, and basically saying they cannot support this aid mechanism because it is politicising aid.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, by the way, it's using aid for a very specific reason, which is to target Palestinians. Thank you, Tom Jones. Thank you for supporting me all the way from New Zealand. Did turn me on to the Do Not Worry pod. Hey, comment. I love that this proves the algorithm. I mean, yeah, the YouTube algorithm's not horrible, you know, in terms of, like, pushing you towards stuff you might actually enjoy. Yeah.
Aid into Gaza. So there's still a big argument going on about the lack of aid getting into Gaza.
It's not a big argument. Israel is using aid as a weapon of war, and that is a grave crime, and it's going to continue doing that.
The situation is obviously getting worse day by day by day, but we'll see whether or not the 5 trucks that have been allowed in turn into anything more meaningful over the coming 24 hours.
You found me through our shared hatred of Ali Galabon. Is that so? I'm going to see if there's any videos of the trucks entering Gaza. But it's not. So I mean, this account's a bit of like a liberal Zionist, but the IDF announced that 5 UN trucks carrying humanitarian aid and baby food entered the Gaza Strip after a thorough security check by the Land Defence Crossings Authority personnel at the Ministry of Defence. Have you ever been to the crossings? You've never been to the crossings. It's just like, it's genuinely, this is a calculated attempt to manage Israel's international pressure, and Israel will be, you'll get a few statements saying this is a start, this is like a good beginning, but yeah, it's literally just a point of like, I promise you, Western politicians will start coming out and they will start saying, oh, this is the beginning, this is the start of us getting aid in, oh, it's amazing, but like, let's read Smotrich's words. The video began and ended with the Prime Minister addressing other ministers. He called the criticism natural, but said his move revealed leadership since it was unpopular. The video came a short time after Smotrich called in an impromptu press conference on the Prime Minister to speak to the public and show leadership. No aid will reach Hamas, period. Anyone who says otherwise is simply lying, said Smotrich. It will allow civilians to eat, our friends around the world to continue providing us with international protection, an international protection umbrella at the Security Council and The Hague, and us to keep fighting, God willing, until victory. For 2.5 months, we did not allow humanitarian aid into Gaza, creating enormous pressure on Hamas, and rightly so, but pressure must be managed so it doesn't explode on us. That's basically referring to starving 2 million people as pressure. But I promise you, the whole point of this is so you can hear... the whole point of this is so you can hear literally that it's basically so that you can hear that Israel is doing better. Chris, this is my first stream after saw you on Noah's stream. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you enjoyed me on Noah's stream. I really enjoyed the opportunity, and again, shout out to Noah for what he's doing. It's fucking brilliant. Ben-Gvir criticised. He continued, when the IDF resumed efforts to conquer Gaza, moving civilians from areas with some remaining food, our great friends worldwide, those who support us and understand that we cannot stop just before complete victory and Hamas's destruction, asked us to help them dispel starvation claims. We must do so. Without this, we cannot fight and win. It's just really sadistic, but it also shows you there's just this increasing ability of Israeli government officials to avow exactly what they are doing rather than hiding it behind a veneer. Smotrich is telling you the truth. When Smotrich speaks, Smotrich says what Israel is doing. Well, he says a lot of things that are lies, obviously. But he's like a right-wing revisionist Zionist. He's just telling you the exact facts. Like, this is only about reducing international pressure. It has nothing to do with giving aid to Palestinians. They want all Palestinians to starve unless aid can be weaponized against them as a means to defeat Hamas, which basically just means starve anyone who doesn't believe in allowing Israel to ethnically cleanse Palestinians. I'm just seeing if there's any images or information about this. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's no like videos or anything. But yeah. They're fully admitting to doing... Exactly. Is Eminem pro-Palestine? I have no fucking idea. It's literally a shirt I've had since I was 16. I don't buy new clothes. I was wearing a Run DMC shirt the other day. I don't actually dislike Run DMC, but I don't listen to them. This is just a shirt I have. I don't care. It's not like a shirt with like some offensive political things on, so I don't care. They want to eliminate the idea of resistance. Indeed, they want to eliminate anyone who resists against Western imperialism and the state of Israel. That's the truth of it. What are you talking about? You never grew up. No, I grew up and I got bigger, but they were just big shirts when I was younger. I mean, I'm a lot bigger and more muscular than I was when I was 16. So, actually, I've had this since I was 17 or 18. But no, I know wear what I want. But this is not like an open major endorsement of Eminem. Quite often I don't wear it for that exact reason. I don't care for Eminem's music anymore, like I used to when I was younger. Yeah, I'm 12. M endorsed Kamala. Yeah, great. I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. I mean, people can vote for her if they want, but just like openly endorsing her as a celebrity, yeah. National Security Minister Ben-Gvir criticised the decision that it would reach Hamas. Ben-Gvir claimed that Netanyahu had presented a vote to the cabinet Monday evening because the measure... he prevented a vote, so because the pressure would lead to a failure. Where have I... here we go. The decision, which was made last night in a hasty manner to renew aid to the entire Gaza Strip, is a serious and grave mistake. We must tell the truth to the public, to the state of Israel. This aid, which reaches all parts of the Strip, will fall into the hands of Hamas. That is the reason they refused my request for a vote. That is the reason they knew I had a majority to overturn it. I mean, like, honestly, it's basically just should we just outright starve Gaza? Or should we try and hide it a bit? And obviously there are some people who are smarter than Ben-Gvir, and Ben-Gvir is someone who kind of wants it all then and there and now. By the way, these are the photos of the concentration camp in the Gaza Strip. These are all the photos of it. I don't know why they're so fucking grainy, but yeah, you can see them here. This is what Israel has built. This is built expressly with the purpose of expelling Palestinians to the Gaza Strip, you know. This is built exactly with the purpose of expelling Palestinians. By the way, also, historically, there's a bit of a confrontation between Smotrich and Ben-Gvir, because Ben-Gvir wants it all. Ben-Gvir wants, like, to be openly genocidal, to openly say, get the Palestinians away, and he's a fascist in the sense of the immediacy of his politics, whereas Smotrich is a bit cooler in the sense of Smotrich will be like, hey, I want to do genocide, but I want to, like, be slightly less open with it. Whereas Ben-Gvir is not so cool with it. Sorry, I'm just looking at this Minnesota starvation thing. That sounds fucking insane. But yeah, this tiny amount of aid has nothing to do with... is nothing to be celebrated. It is literally just something to just reduce pressure. There's an IDF spokesman talking about it here. Very bold.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining our brief. I'll start with few words about the last weekend. Probably already heard that during this weekend,
Smotrich isn't actually a Kahanist, by the way. So Ben-Gvir's a Kahanist, but Smotrich is more of like a, just sort of like a religious Zionist. Ben-Gvir is an actual Kahanist. Like, Kahanism is like a different ideology in the sense of like Kahanism. Basically, there's an example in. I can show you this actually. Hold on. Israel's Minister of Chaos. Sorry, that's me. Sorry, you're about to hear this. Sorry for like the billion fucking searching things going off. Sorry, I'm fucking wheezing away. Here you go. This is from Israel's Minister of Chaos by The New Yorker, which is actually a pretty good article. And it's not like, I think it's actually pretty accurate in what it's saying. Hello, Chris from Israel. Dear Smotrich is not. I don't know if you're sort of joking or why you're saying it. Please don't put the Israeli flag in. Yeah, so basically the two of them were in this alliance that was pretty faux, basically. But there are differences. Like, Ben Gvir is genuinely a Kahanist, like a lifelong one who's always been interested in it. But yeah, no, it's fine. Most people say that Smotrich and Ben Gvir are both Kahanists. It's just not true. Smotrich has spent years positioning himself as the new elite of an educated, unapologetic religious nationalist camp. Didn't know what hit him when Ben Gvir is a bit more like of just an action-oriented guy, whereas like Smotrich is more like, yeah, we should be sort of, you know, smarter with it. I put it in my most recent video, but this is a pretty fucking horrifying thing. So this is Smotrich's decisive plan. The two-state model has led Israel to an end. Let me see if I can find it. Let me just get it back to 100%. So this is Smotrich's plan for Palestinians everywhere. Based on this unequivocal starting point, the Arabs of the land of Israel will have to face two basic alternatives. Those who wish to forego their national aspirations can stay here and live as individuals in the Jewish state. They will, of course, enjoy all the benefits that the Jewish state has brought and is bringing to the land of Israel. We will discuss the status and living management of those who choose this option in more detail below. Those who choose not to let go of their national ambitions will receive aid to emigrate to one of the many countries where Arabs realise their national aspirations, or to any other destination in the world. It is, of course, safe to assume that not everyone will adopt one of these two choices. There will be those who choose to continue another option, continuing to fight the IOF, the State of Israel, and the Jewish population. Such terrorists will be dealt with by security forces with a strong hand. For those Arabs who wish to remain here as individuals and enjoy everything the State of Israel has to offer, we will need to define a model of residency that includes autonomous self-management, including municipal administrations, alongside individual rights and obligations. The Arabs of Judea and Samaria will conduct their daily lives on their own terms via regional municipal administrations, lacking national characteristics. Like other local authorities, these will hold their own elections and will maintain regular economic municipal relations between themselves and authorities in the State of Israel. In time, and contingent on loyalty to the state and its institutions, and on military or national service models of residency and even citizenship will become available. This plan is the most just and moral by any measure, historical Zionist and Jewish, and it is the only option that can lead to quiet peace and real coexistence. It is basically that Palestinians will be made to live as second-class citizens in their own historic homeland, and they will not be allowed to have any support, any national aspirations. It is a very weird and sadistic plan, and anyone who resists the State of Israel is to be killed. It is, yeah. What did Benji Lewis say? I didn't even see. He said, "Why is that so bad? Do Jews live in Arab countries? The Jewish state has full rights for Arabs in Israel proper." No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. And also, by the way, destroying people's national aspirations and then saying that they're not allowed to have any national aspirations in a land that has, for the longest time, been made up by predominantly Palestinians, why is that okay? Like, what is right about that? Palestinians made up the vast majority of the people who inhabited that land, and yet they're being denied a right to even national aspirations there? It's not even like the interest of a two-state solution. And by the way, the concept of a two-state solution has failed because Israel was never interested in it. It was more interested in settling Palestinian land. That's the fucking truth of it. Two states for two people is a slogan empty of content that has become the axiomatic solution for the conflict, primarily because of the illusion that the Arab side is open to territorial compromise and willing to accept the State of Israel as a Jewish state. Yasser Arafat did accept this and was willing to accept this. This assumption has been repeatedly proven false. Under the present reality, the establishment of an Arab terror state in Judea and Samaria, a state whose territory is 20 times larger than the Hamas terror state in the Gaza Strip, would be nothing less than suicidal. The collapse of several veteran Arab countries in recent years has made the state model even more problematic. and it is hard to envision. It is hard to envision it as a lasting entity. The two-state solution is unfeasible, and it is therefore time to put a solution based on an entirely different approach on the table. From historic and international and religious perspective, the Zionist project of the return of the Jewish people to its land after 2,000 years of exile, wandering and persecution is the most just and moral undertaking or enterprise to have taken place in the past several centuries. We are not the UN and under no compulsion to assume that we are dealing with two narratives equal in justice and argument. It is literally just based on the assumption that Israel has a right to, to just take over all of historic Palestine. Put simply, we vacated the Gaza Strip. Residents enjoy far fewer rights and freedoms. They have even lost all semblance of a democratic system and the right to vote. What they do have is the repressive Hamas regime that takes the humanitarian resources sent into the Strip and uses them for armaments and tunnels instead of desperately needed civilian construction. The situation is infinitely worse and far less moral and humane for both sides compared to the reality that exists. This is just untrue, by the way. This is just untrue, completely untrue, that the humanitarian situation was great under Israel. Those Arabs of Judea and Samaria who desire it will have a new hope for a good future and a satisfying private life under the wings of the Jewish state. The Jewish people have brought so much good, so much plenty, progress, development, and technology to this country. Blah, 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 fucking blah. This will be life with the maximum democratic lives, liberty and property, a life of freedom, of religion and expression. But in that state, you cannot articulate that you have a right to live, that you have a right to your own state. You can only live within the state of Israel as a second-class citizen, as not someone who is Jewish, and you will always be that. Israel literally has a law which says only Jewish people are allowed to basically live there. Are only allowed to exercise self-determination. Israel has been implementing this for a long time. But yeah, this is, by the way, this decisive plan is from 2015. A life of freedom and expression, and many more such rights. By the way, Palestinians do not have a freedom of religion and expression. And a lot of these people want to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And Israel is such a racist society right now. And Israel getting rid of 2 million Palestinians from the Gaza Strip and having its way of actually doing these things would only lead its racism to increase against internal Palestinians who would increasingly be targets of stronger amounts of racism, and so Israel would just move towards expelling them. This is just a plan towards expelling Palestinians, you know? This is literally just a plan that moves towards destroying the Palestinian national movement and their national aspirations with the explicit goal of expelling them from their historic homeland. This is what this is. It's not like some wonderful, nice thing that's cooked up by like someone who has an interest in Palestinians. What else does it say? It will also contain the right to vote for the system which runs... Also, look at this language. It will also contain the right to vote for the system which runs their everyday lives. Seemingly not to vote for the government. Because the integration of all of these people into the Israeli state, as he is claiming, would lead to... them voting away the state of Israel, which is fair enough. It's their democratic right to do so, and they should be allowed to vote away the state of Israel, because what's the point? It's not like a great thing, it's not like some like just or moral thing just for the fucking sake of it, you know. But yeah, you can see this here. Oh my god. The self-government of the Arabs of Judea will be divided into 6 municipal governments. This is, by the way, what they want to do. They're crushing Palestinians into smaller and smaller spaces. Each of these governmental entities reflect the cultural, accepted structure of their Arab societies and will thus ensure internal peace and economic prosperity. The failure of the idea of the nation-state in the Arab world, an idea brought from Europe with the colonial powers, can be seen clearly today. And in the opinion of many, the failure is inevitable. This is, by the way, the difference between Ben-Gvir and Smotrich. Ben-Gvir would never write something like this. Ben-Gvir would be like, we need to kill and beat Arabs to death now, today. Let's do that. And Smotrich would be like, yeah, let's kill and beat Arabs, but let's also pretend that we have a right to, like, basically give them a state. That is the only difference between these two. It is just giving people a little fucking Bantustan with a fractured West Bank, which they're already doing, by the way. Like, Smotrich is not some crazy figure. This is what Israel is doing. Free of terror and a security threat, the residents of regional municipal administrations will enjoy freedom of movement and the right of entry for work and for humanitarian reasons into Israeli settlements in Judea and Samaria and the state of Israel to benefit of all. And by the way, this would also move towards expelling Palestinians from the entire space. Yeah, this is just continuing the Nakba. This is just the Nakba never fucking ended. It's just updating the Nakba. And this is also, by the way, dressing this up in the kindest possible language. Palestinians would obviously fucking resist this en masse, and Israel would try and kill... And Israel would kill huge amounts of Palestinians. Not fucking try and do it, you know. But yeah, in the long term, it will be possible to expand their democratic components of the plan with a broad regional arrangement with Jordan, in which the Arabs of Judea and Samaria will be able to vote for the Jordanian parliament, and thus realise their right to vote. Just listen to this. In the long term, it will be possible to expand so they can vote for the Jordanian government? What? Another improvement open to examination over time. The sincerity of those who choose to remain is determined, and consequently involvement of the Arabs of Judea and Samaria in the civilian decisions of the State of Israel as opposed to national decisions will be possible. So they're not allowed to be involved in national decisions. This stuff is really, really weird. This has existed since 2015. The things that they... And by the way, when you are listening to someone like who is sympathetic towards the state of Israel, this is what Israel will move towards. Like, Israel doesn't want to give Palestinians a state, so it has to move to one of these plans, and no one has written up anything as sort of as large as this. This is really weird, but it's also just a slight worsening of the current situation, you know? And no, this graduated arrangement does not make Israel into an apartheid state. A regime of freedom does not begin and end with the right to vote and be elected to office. There is no doubt that this is a fundamental right in democracy, but it is explicitly not the sole definition. Today we include a whole set of freedoms and rights under the title of democracy. The right to life, dignity, property, freedom of religion, expression and movement and more. The lion's share of these rights and freedoms will be granted within the plan for Arabs of Judea and Samaria, including the right to vote in municipal administration. Like, look, this is not like some awesome thing. This is not like some guy, but this is the core difference. Smotrich represented the settler contingency, a highly organised electoral bloc. He felt, Crombie said, that Ben-Gvir dragged him to the fringes of society. Imagine a union between the Tea Party and the Proud Boys. According to data from the IDI, collected shortly after the election, 78% of the alliance's voters said they preferred Ben-Gvir to Smotrich. Netanyahu might have felt the same. A columnist for Haaretz wrote in November that Netanyahu had less to worry about with Ben-Gvir, the pyromaniac, than with Smotrich, the megalomaniac. I mean, this is kind of true. Ben-Gvir is like a racist shock trooper, but Smotrich is like basically a smarter guy who's probably more worrying than Ben-Gvir, in the sense that Ben-Gvir is like more capable of not being such a mad sort of... Smotrich is much more capable of not being so fucking mad. It's why Smotrich is like, hey, let's let aid in so we can push the idea that, we're allowed to do this. And by the way, also, alongside what Smotrich says now, Smotrich also talks about levelling Palestinian townships and all of these things. Like, that document is written with a thin veneer of extreme racism, dressed up as like basically, I'm more of a humanitarian, you know, I care about the Palestinians, and it's all about giving them democracy and freedom. It is also a plan for expulsion. Like, all of these people want to expel millions of Palestinians. And also, by the way, Smotrich is far less, yeah, exactly. We went with constituents, by the way, constituents. Smotrich might lose his seat. I don't know if I want to be on a website called Israel's National News. Right, it's definitely going to have some weird adverts, but here we go. Oh my god, fucking hell. So, the Haredi parties of Shas and United Torah Judaism would receive 10 and 6 seats respectively. Yisrael Betainu would receive 10 seats, Otzma Yehudit 9, and Meretz 5. The religious Zionist party and the Arab party. Smotrich is losing popularity because he's not so like kill as Ben-Gvir. Yeah. I mean, here we go, and this is just more. I have two options with extremists like him. Smotrich, the decision was clear. Ben-Gvir was the teddy bear. Smotrich was the fanatic. Hold on. Smotrich. Let's just go through these. Here we go. In 2005, following years of deadly attacks by Palestinian militants in Gaza, the government of Ariel Sharon, an otherwise hawkish prime minister, unilaterally pulled out of the Gaza Strip. For Jewish settlers who believe in Israel's divine right to rule Israel from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea, this was a calamity. Yet most responded to the evacuation of settlements with little violence. The big debate was among the rabbis was whether to be removed like a sack of potatoes or like a bag of fish, kicking and squirming. Interesting words. Kareev said, still according to security officials, a small cell of hardcore settlers plotted acts of sedition. Smotrich actually went to prison for this. But yeah, it's just a bit about that. Right, guys, I'm quickly going to go for a pee, so I'll be back in a second, and we can watch this video of, like, an Israeli fuck talking about aid. I'll just be back very shortly. Oh, God, that was probably really fucking loud. Sorry, guys. Oh, here I am. I've returned. Look, I've taken over the screen from the weirdo. Maybe that didn't actually show. I don't fucking know. Right. I hope she deports who to... I don't own a maid outfit, sadly. Here's a couple of resources for you. The Notori Carter rappers. I know these people. No. Stream didn't crash.
Israel once again accepted the special envoy Steve Witkoff proposal for a ceasefire and release of the hostages. Once again, Hamas refused and rejected the proposal. Therefore, Israel has no choice but to resume its military operation for achieving its just objectives. Releasing our 58 hostages still held in inhumane conditions in the hands of Hamas. Dismantling Hamas military capabilities and making sure that Gaza...
Chris, the name constituent suggests that you won't be committed to class politics. That your only strength. Good point, actually. I just sort of liked it more as a name, Daniel Seagate, but perhaps we shouldn't go with it. Perhaps it makes me seem too powerful all over you, and that I am the one who knows, but I'm not the one who knows.
Will no longer possess a threat to the Israeli citizens. This war is Hamas' sole and full responsibility. Hamas is responsible for starting the war on October 7th with horrific massacre. Hamas is still responsible for the continuation of the war. Its refusal to release our hostages and its refusal to lay down its arms.
Hold on. Hold on. I don't know if there's looks like there's quite big protests in Khan Yunis, which is probably more interesting than watching this guy. They're coming from Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib. Actually, they're just taking videos of huge displacement videos. Like, this is just awful. Probably need to mute that music. That's definitely copyrighted. Yeah, I mean, also the Hamas thing is just a lie. Like, all of it's a fucking lie. Right. So this is just people. Yeah, I'm just looking because the problem is the way that people post about this is I find often quite misleading, because I don't doubt that there is that there are protests against Hamas, but also like taking a video of kind of things. So these accounts are never the most trustworthy. What are they actually chanting? Can anyone translate it? But the problem is that people focus on these and then say, like, well, if Hamas goes, everything will be fine. But it's just not true, is it? Like, look, I have no doubt that there are people who are tired of Hamas rule in the Gaza Strip. Who knows when these protests are from, when it's filmed, if this is actually today. Because it feels like most people are being displaced. So quite interesting to post a video of people protesting today. It feels like it's not really congruent with what's going on. But honestly, who fucking knows? But like, honestly, people who are saying that, like, oh, Palestinians are protesting against Hamas and this is a fucking force to end the war. It's not a force to end this war. Many people also who protest are also protesting against. Many of these people who are protesting against like for an end to the war. Yalla yalla burra burra means like now now go go, right? I don't even know if they did say that. That's the problem as well. Some of these videos clearly show this and some don't. Right, what are they saying here? So these people are actually chanting Hamas out. No problem at all. They're a political party. Yeah, like, people oppose political parties. People are sick of things, but honestly, it's ridiculous. Like, to just sit here and act as if this is the thing that's going to end the war. Israel doesn't give a fuck. Israel is going to genocide Palestinians regardless of if Hamas are in power. Israel openly states that they want to expel Palestinians. They say that, well, even if Hamas goes, well, there'll be something else established. But yeah, this is saying Hamas bura bura. But the images are really grainy, and this guy's posting like 1 billion times. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty... I mean, it's like... this is just sort of what people want to post. And a lot of these accounts I don't really trust, to be honest. These slogans were chanted by the people during spontaneous protests that erupted in Khan Yunis, demanding an end to the war and the departure of Hamas. People in Gaza have had enough. I mean, like, who knows whether it's true? A protest against Hamas, do you buy it? I don't, for a second. I mean, and the funny thing is there's loads of Zionists that end up just protesting about, like, how it's not a thing. And the other problem is that Israel has sown all of this. Yeah, exactly. So you can talk about them if you want and say, hey, there's discontent and there are many people in the Gaza Strip who I'm sure don't love Hamas. But the truth is that people are also, like, people hold very different opinions. And also, it's not going to change what Israel is doing. So you should be focusing on Israel. I mean, Hamas have said that they're willing to abdicate political power. That what they're saying is they won't give up their weapons. Because historically, when Palestinians have given up their weapons, it has not really gone very well, has it? But there have been attempts to signal boost these protests for months on end. There is... Western news outlets report more on protests in fucking Palestine against Hamas than they bother with the huge ones against our government, and they act as if they go like, oh my god, this force is going to end the war, it's going to stop this war. But there is no war, there is a genocide. It is not Israel in some war with Hamas. I'm 100% that don't like Hamas, just like there are Palestinians who do like Hamas. I mean, it's a mixture. I mean, also, Gaza won't become like the West Bank, because the West Bank has, like, a few more years and a few more decades before Israel perhaps tries to expel everyone from there. But the truth is that Israel is going to expel every Palestinian from the Gaza Strip. It openly states that it wants to do this. I mean, as well, I guess, actually, I need to just edit the title quickly. Hold on. We've kind of stopped, right. Here we go. Right, let's go back to this. Sorry, 1 second. I was just editing the title. Right, here we go. What to say? You're amazing. Thank you very much, AZ. Consulatarians. I like that. But yeah, giving up weapons is unreasonable. Look what happened to Warsaw. I mean, giving up weapons is just not... like, when Palestinians gave up weapons when Palestinians' resistance factions gave up weapons and abdicated from Lebanon and the camps, Israel went in and committed huge massacres in the camps. If weapons are given up, Israel probably will carry on doing massacres, but what it will actually do predominantly is that it will expel millions of Palestinians. So this is what Al Jazeera is claiming, the Al Jazeera Arabic account. So this is a translation. Washington Post citing a source. People close to Trump tell Israel, we will abandon you if you do not stop the genocide. I mean, I don't know if I believe it. I don't know if I believe it at all. 9th humanitarian trucks. This is just the other one. But I'm not sure I believe it at all. I'm not sure I believe it. Only 5 entered is what he's saying. Tama is saying... But yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I didn't know you can change stream titles. Oh, hell yeah, I can change the stream title. I can change it to whatever they want. Was a top tier, very educational. I think you handled it perfectly. Yeah, it was a great opportunity, and I'm glad there were so many people watching. Did JD Vance cancel his visit to Israel? This is Axios, which is run by Barak Reed. Well, which is always reported by Barak Reed, so who knows how true it is. He's been pretty good on certain things. But, like, right. Vice President J.D. Vance considered traveling to Israel on Tuesday, but decided against it due to the expansion of Israel's military operation. Perhaps he was worried that the Houthis were going to get him. The U.S. official said Vance made that... by the way, I don't think that is actually why. I don't think he's worried at all. I don't think the Houthis would attack him after agreeing to a ceasefire, but... This isn't about publicly pressuring Israel. Vance officials cited logistical reasons for passing on the visit, but his declaration sheds light on how US feel. I do agree. I saw, by the way, I don't know if any of you saw this or are followers of Zay Squirrel. I'm not going to read it because it is insanely long. It's like a fucking insanely long thread. Let me just pull it up. Zay Squirrel wrote sorry, I need to close this. I don't want to show you that. So basically, she wrote this very long thing that's about how everything between Trump and Netanyahu is absolutely calculated, and all of it is to make the attack on Iran look like a surprise. I don't know. Who are my shadow handlers? Where are you saying that in response to? Whatever they want. Who is they? Wait, what did I say they in relation to? Who are my shadow handlers? My shadow handlers are the Qatari government and Hamas. Oh yeah, by the way, I was in like this viral fucking video from Middle East Eye, and the comments on it on Facebook are fucking hilarious. Hold on, let me just pull them up.
Can you tell me why you're here today?
To protest Israel's genocide. The scenes coming out of Gaza last... Oh, I've clicked on the wrong thing. Sorry, one second. Night were abhorrent, as they have been for the last 15 months. But last night in particular was unbelievable. The destruction of places... You have Facebook? Yeah, I have Facebook, but it's literally just my old Facebook account. Like, I'm sure that there's some weird shit I posted on there. But am I German? Nein, bin ich kein Deutsch. Bin ich Englisch? Entschuldigung. Nein, nein, nein. Bin ich nicht Deutsch. Warum hast du mir das angetan? Nein, nein, nein. Spreche ich ein bisschen Deutsch, but nein, bin ich nicht Deutsch. It's like Jabalia, Shujaya, all of these places in Gaza being wiped away. You can watch it anyway. I can put a link if you want on the stream, but like I don't post anything. Paid actor. Most modern day Britons can't even pronounce Cirencester correctly, and this guy can articulate esoteric Arabic names, clearly reading from a teleprompter. Also, by the way, how would I be able to pronounce Shujaya and Jabalia if they were on a fucking teleprompter? I would probably read them out as like Jabalia and Shujaiya. But yeah, you don't have... there's also some other funny ones. Stop crying. Just tell your colleagues to release the captives. You can cry buckets of tears. Nothing will change or happen until the hostages are released. Stop the cruel genocide. Man of character. Well said. Humanity is proud of you. I'm just trying to see if I can find it. This looks like an interesting one. Why would a country like... They're also from a guy called Vino Pillai, who is from Salas... He's from India. Bro, why are you talking about the UK and protests here? Like, why are you... Oh, a phonetic teleprompter. I see. That does actually make sort of sense. Hamas are not my colleagues. But yeah, Why would a country like Britain allow its land to be used to promote some other country? What stops these people from going to Gaza and fight the IOF and win the freedom of their so-called country? What is enabling these protests in only Christian countries? No such demonstrations in Dubai and Shanghai. What's the result expected other than an Arab strength projection to Western civilization? Like, what are these words, man? What are these words? Like, from some guy called Vinu Pillai. Like, bro, you don't know anything about this. You don't know anything about this. Why are you saying that these protests are paid for? It's a huge amount of, like, random people. Of, like, people who are from different countries. And who are, like, very, you know... who are, like, you know, from disparate communities of different social backgrounds and stuff. But yeah, also, by the way, there are loads of, like, fucking old grannies here. Like, do you honestly think that, like, Hamas and the Qatari government are paying, like, Jean, who lives in some part of West London? And also, by the way, the two countries he fucking cites and is like, why are there no protests here? You're citing two authoritarian countries that are dictatorships, bro. There was also another comment which I won't be able to find on their TikTok version, which said that I was a pedophile with loads of allegations against me. I reported it and TikTok said that they found no problem with the comment, even though it was someone saying that there were multiple allegations of it and there were like 60 fucking people liking it. No one has accused me of being a pedophile in my entire life. There are no allegations put up on the internet about me doing anything like that, and nor will there ever be, because I'm not a fucking pedophile. But yeah, TikTok fucking approved that. She never asked him what he thought of... So here's an English person, Gary Griffiths. She never asked him what he thought of October the 7th. Cool. Great interview, mister. I send you respect. You are absolutely right in all your points. Thank you. Thank you very much. He didn't study history either, Ian Lawson. This boy deserves respect. Salute to you. Thank you, Jasmine. It's shameful for Muslim leaders. Shame, shame, shame. Yes. I'm European at age of 17 and think that I know something. This guy lives in Israel called Itai Porat. Thanks for that one. You will come to your common sense when one of your family member is slaughtered by the barbarians. Deepak Jaws lives in Imphal. I don't even know where Imphal is. Let me guess. India or like somewhere like that? It's a city in India. Brilliant. Look, bro, stick to making those videos of, like, the Pakistani outdoor games where it's like, Mr. Greedy! I don't know if anyone is familiar with these, but I'm actually quite a big fan of those. And when it's like, Hasnan! No!
Three, two, one, go! Hasnan! No! Daniel! No! Salu! No! Muzammel!
This is better political analysis that is offered by most Indians on Twitter and all of these other places.
No! Cool boy! Yes! Mr. Greedy! No! Biggie! Come on, Biggie! Yes! JD! No! Hasnan!
Come on, Hasnan.
No!
But yeah,
Daniel!
I mean, I was just really enjoying reading through these comments. Sorry, sorry. Sorry, it's kind of a real distraction. I end up watching these so much because there was some British guy and he was like, who is your favourite of like, who is your favourite of like all of these people? And he was saying the kids aren't great, you know. But yeah, like, the thing is that this is just like people just saying these things on the internet about me. This is what you call a British man. Thank you, Amina. You are great. The best live version of The Fall of the Great Britain. Yanga Imti Walling. Like, what? The Fall of Great Britain. Why all talks about no action? I guess everyone is afraid of the guy. What? So weird. So weird. It's honestly really unbelievable. And those videos are addictive. Like, I mean, but this is what I expect from people who know this much about Palestine. Go make these videos. Don't be doing this. Don't be telling me about the fall of Great Britain, bro. I want to see videos of people playing in villages. Same goes for people in the UK. I think that this is very important, that you should go and play in the UK. I wonder if the YouTube comments on this are funny as well. Are people finding this interesting, like me just sort of doing random shit? Like, let me know. Sorry, I was just... Oh, wait, I don't know if any of you saw this, but this is actually brilliant. This is brilliant. There's this whole sort of, like, weird group of people in the UK who are, like, kind of dolled up, who just sort of make videos about fucking Palestine and feel like they have a right to talk about it because they're sort of Jewish, but they're just like, I don't know, from London and weird. Perhaps the most serial offender is Jewish Jess. She's probably worse than...
So Eurovision 2025 has come to a close.
Thank you, Coffee. Coffee Addict, are you just someone else? And most days I can't... You, Hassan, Noah, and others make it a tad bit easier. P.S. This is a Qatar check DM. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Qatari government. You are my best friend.
And I'm sure that we can all agree that Yuval Raphael put on a flawless display and did this...
It's just like someone who doesn't have any understanding or knowledge and just shares videos about Israel that, like, get lapped up by fucking idiots.
This country proud. She came in second place when supposedly the whole world hates us. And so
the whole world does hate Israel. People just pay for fucking targeted adverts. And there are literally videos of this. There's this guy called fucking Nate Buzz who is like, I voted for Israel 100 times or 20 times. And there's loads of people on Twitter who are like, I voted over and over again. And also, sorry, just to go back, Coffee Addict, on the comment of what you said, this is exactly what Abdul Razak Takriti said to me. Like, Palestinians are struggling, bro. And yet we have to hear a lot about, like, the feelings of this fucking idiot. This is Jewish Jess, who's just like an idiot, is how I would describe her.
Wallah. Stop the Jewish Jess.
Like, also, by the way, they all go to Israel.
It's been 1400 years since Islam first came into existence, and my God, have they been busy.
It's just racist rubbish.
They've almost entirely colonised the Middle East and much of North Africa. And alarmingly, many people don't even know about their violent conquest, just assuming that these lands have always been Islamic.
Oh my god, things change throughout history. And also, by the way, all of these people who bring that up currently endorse a settler colony that is supported in part because Western Christians believe that it is like this glorious thing. That this is a settler colony. And they went, and what did spreading Christianity mean? Years, decades of imperialism and murder. And these people are now like, yeah, we should be talking about like a Islamic conquest. I mean, also, by the way, as I've said, this whole, and this is sort of the point of of what I have to say about a lot of this. In academia, you don't just do this. You don't just do what you're doing here for like the sake of talking points. And this is how like people like Lonerbox, Destiny, they research literally to bring up talking points. They don't understand the theory or anything that undergirds this, and they couldn't really anyway. It's why they all hold such fucking abhorrent views. Bad Empanada's pretty fucking good at it because he's been spending years doing this, of like years of like coming of like defending himself against talking points basically. But this whole Islamic conquest is right. There's only one academic piece that I could find by Robert G. Hoyland, which is called Were the Muslim Conquerors of the 7th Century Middle East Colonialists? Islam was contiguous to the Fertile Crescent, so it was not exactly comparable with the European establishment of colonies overseas. Like, yeah, this is also what he's saying. The conquest, right, happened within an area that had historic relations and stuff, whereas the European conquest were like going overseas and establishing colonies. Basically in this place, in like different places where you sought to completely alter their culture. Hasnan Prime. No, Mr. Greedy. So this is just what he's saying. Security, no harbouring spies. So these are just like about the treatment. If you want to go read about this, it's hard to get this from specific notes that I've got. But you can get this. It's by Robert G. Hoyland, and he talks about this extensively. One aspect of the Muslim conquest that is comparable with that of the European conquest, however, is the havoc both wrought upon local culture. In the creation of a new civilization, many elements of the pre-conquest world were lost. Some was deliberate. For example, the Islamic antipathy towards non-Abrahamic religions meant that much of these were in general wiped out. Or, as with Zoroastrianism, massively reduced, but much was incidental. A good example here is languages such as Coptic, North African Latin, and which were crushed in the stampede of the use of Arabic. Whatever way one answers the question about the 7th century Muslim Arab colonists, it is worth bearing in mind that many large-scale imperialist ventures will always have casualties. So that's kind of his point, you know. Here you go. Many converts to Islam did huge things. That was my rewriting of it. Coptic is a form of Christianity predominantly practiced in Egypt, I believe, and around the Middle East. And it still exists to some extent. No, well, it does definitely still exist. Not to some extent, but just nowhere near the power it once had. No, someone put in chat talking about Mr. Hasnan Prime, so I just went, Mr. Greedy! No reworking of European culture by those it colonized, not en masse. Nor really many texts from countries conquered by Europeans dating to the pre-conquest periods that went on to become part of the mainstream European culture. I think that the first ever, like, best-selling writer, obviously there was no best-selling equivalent in this time, but you could probably take a comparison from, like, someone who made a contribution to Islamic culture from other parts of the Middle East. So this is also interesting. Muslim-Arab relations were much more dialectical in their influences on each other. The colonized influenced Islamic civilization and vice versa. But the first ever best-selling former, like, Caribbean novelist was Edgar Mittelholzer, who wrote My Bones and My Flute, which I've actually read, and it's pretty interesting. It's like a horror story about these people who find this flute, and when they play it, like, they enter a trance, or they start hearing a flute. It's pretty interesting. I won't spoil it. It's about Guyana. But yeah. So this guy is really interesting as well. He set himself on fire. Hero talks about it. A recurring theme in Mittelholzer's work, no fewer than 15 characters die by suicide in his novel. In his last novel, published posthumously, the main character commits suicide by self-immolation. On the 5th of May, 1965, aged 55, the author set himself alight in a field near Farnham, Surrey. He died the next day in Farnham Hospital. This is the first guy who ever made, like, a really significant contribution in the literary world as, like, a Caribbean author. But, like, you know, Jewish Jess is here to tell you about this.
Let me break it down for you. Iran was Zoroastrian.
Well, I don't know the number of people that commit suicide. I can't even remember. In My Bones and My Flute, a lot of people commit suicide, but I don't know whether that's classed within it.
Now it's Muslim.
Iran was Zoroastrianism. I mean, yeah, Iran was once Zoroastrian, but, you know, religions were died out and replaced. There are many different religions. I mean, the UK would have been pagan at one point, right? Which isn't the same as Christianity. And paganism was sort of replaced by Christianity. You know, like, many people were replaced by these things.
Iraq was Christian. Now it's Muslim. Yemen was Jewish. Now it's...
What is the Jewish population of Yemen? So the Yemenite kingdom reached a peak of about 50,000 Jewish people. It was a Jewish... When was it even a Jewish kingdom? Like, thousands of years ago. Like, by the way, you are just talking about thousands of years and just going, oh, you know, Islam did these things and this happened. And look at these comments.
Muslim.
Islam is a fake religion. Muhammad is a false prophet. And the Quran is a satanic book.
Lebanon was Christian. Now it's majority Muslim.
Also, perhaps if Israel didn't expel all of these Yemeni people, all of these Palestinian people to Lebanon, perhaps it wouldn't be Muslim.
And radical Islam is on the rise. Egypt was Christian. Now it's 92% Muslim. Afghanistan was Hindu. Now it's Muslim.
Things change over time, man. At one point, the UK, as I said, would have all been fucking pagans. Does that mean Christianity was on a rampant rise? Like, I think you should actually focus on, like, how these things happened, you know?
And Pakistan was Hindu. Now it's Muslim, and those Muslims want to kill all of the Hindus.
Jesus Christ. Like, also, by the way, just going, like, all Muslims want to kill all Hindus. Yeah, exactly. Like, look, as I've said, the religion of Islam, and its particularly history from 1,400 years ago. I did one module at university. I don't want to sit here and basically learn, how to defend Islam from 1,400 years ago, because it's not my area of expertise. Things change over time. Things are lost culturally. It's not great. It's not necessarily awesome when certain things are lost. And I'm sure that, like, it would be richer if many languages were still practiced. But Aramaic went away as well. Like, Aramaic died out at a certain point. When did that actually die out? Was that because of being replaced by Arabic? It was gradually replaced by other Semitic languages. I don't know the exact story, but, like, there are many other languages. Yeah, exactly. And by the way, this kind of crap and this kind of, like, weird biblical justification for Israel results in these bizarre perversions, results in these sort of bizarre perversions and stuff of the mind. I don't know what I was saying there. I'm in Pakistan, ask me anything. Do you agree with Jewish Jess's analysis that all of Pakistan wants to kill all Muslims?
And the Kingdom of Israel was Jewish. And much to the Muslim colonizers' disdain, it is still Jewish.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You see, the reason that Israel is...
Also, look, I'm not interested in makeup, but she has awful eyebrows.
...so hotly contested and so avidly fought over is not because of Al-Aqsa. It's not because of the Muslims' connection to the land. They don't have one. It's for two reasons.
The Muslims don't have a connection to the land. Right, 1,400 years of history, all of the people who converted, none of it. Like, this is just a deranged racist given a platform.
And two reasons.
But, like, yeah, also, Joe Smith spitting fire spouts everything is anti-Semitism if you criticise Israel, then makes an Islamophobic post.
Firstly, the idea that the Jews...
It's also, by the way, it's also insane wanting to be a fucking content creator and being unable to appear without loads of filters that alter your face, because she's definitely got a filter on. Like, appear, warts and all. Don't, like, hide yourself.
Who were once dim...
That's chav makeup. I mean, chav is a pretty loaded term, and, like, I mean, I'm also quite posh, but I'm not going to admonish someone for how they look in this sense. I don't care what the amount of makeup they wear. Girls can wear as much as they want. She looks like the car wash owner from Breaking Bad. What's his name? Bogdan. She got the Bogdan eyebrows. Bro, she's about to fire Walter White for having cancer. She's about to give Walter White a crash out.
Under a Muslim governance could possibly self-govern.
Hold on, what was she saying?
Possible reasons and two reasons alone. Firstly, the idea that the Jews, who were once dhimmis under a Muslim governance, could possibly self-govern.
Palestinians are mad because they got dispossessed, and the rest of the region is mad because they don't like Western imperialism or seeing their brothers in Palestine being dispossessed. Like, honestly, this is just crap. It's just crap.
Could possibly retain their land. Has bruised the Muslim colonizers' ego.
It's just dog shit. It's just like dog shit, isn't it?
It's hurt their pride. And secondly, Israel is the last piece of a dangerous jigsaw puzzle. It is the singular country preventing the pipe dream of an Islamic caliphate.
I love how she said the word caliphate. And also, why would it... how would it be the piece of the puzzle preventing an Islamic caliphate? Iran would also be part of that. Lebanon would be part of that. These are countries that have actively resisted against an Islamic caliphate in recent years, right? Like, Iran is a Shia country. Yemen is Zaidi, which is not quite Shia, but it's like a bit closer to Shiism. The idea that, like, hey, they're resisting a caliphate is, like, just such a fucking joke. Because there are many other countries that would resist, like, ISIS-style colonization and the establishment of a fucking caliphate. Like, it's just not true, is it?
But
so someone, are you talking about the word chav? Yeah, I mean, chav has an element of classism. Yeah.
Sure, useful idiots of the West keep telling.
I mean, I don't even know if it's a script. I think that there's just a small amount of people on the internet who, like, drip feed these points to slightly stupider people who then gush them out to the rest of the world. But the truth is that, like, nothing. The truth is that there's no merit to any of this. Whereas at least with, like, what I'm saying is... there is some fucking merit that it comes from, like, years of studying. This doesn't come from years of studying. It comes from crafting a narrative. Like, honestly, someone once described it as this. The charge of Israel being colonizers is very accurate, and it is injurious to Israel's claims that they did, like, this magical, wonderful return and that everything's nice and good there, because it shows Israel for what they actually are. But, the whole thing is that, like, the whole thing is that, like, they're just saying this because they don't understand what colonization is, what settler colonialism is. It is literally just for the sake of basically, you know, making Muslims and Palestinians feel bad.
Telling us Jews how we...
Yeah, we don't call her chav. We just say she's got horrible makeup.
...are the colonizers, the Jews of Judea.
The Jews of Judea. These words go together, so this means they're not colonizers. It's like when the fucking idiot loner box tried to go... settler colonialism's when you got an empire or something like that. Or I'm writing a song about me being a pedophile and Destiny's taking my wife. Oh no. And then, like, you just listen to this person who's slightly stupider than Lonerbox, you know?
And keep conveniently ignoring or being ignorant.
And also, by the way, I sort of felt a bit bad about going, I do that when I had a debate with Lonerbox, because I don't like Lonerbox, and I think he's a piece of shit. But, like, Lonerbox is, and he definitely is a piece of shit. But at the same time, I wouldn't expose that, and, you know, there's, like, this thing that happened to his partner. But at the same time, right, him and his partner hung around with Destiny after, like, credible allegations against Destiny from years, regularly using the N-word, having abhorrent opinions. So do I feel much sadness for, like, what happened? Like, it's not, like, women don't deserve to be treated in that way at all. And what Destiny did is really abhorrent. Like, you know, filming people without their consent. And also holding on to videos after you finish a relationship with someone. I don't think that that's normal either. I think you should get rid of them. Especially if you're, like, collecting a bank of them. It's odd. It's really odd. But yeah, or if someone, like, yeah. But, like, yeah, on this point of just, like, I don't feel that bad about it. I don't understand this impression. I mean, it's just funny because Lonerbox has, like, a slight Scottish accent, and just saying funny things in this accent and making fun of him is funny.
To the reality that the Islamic conquest was the ultimate form of colonization.
Why was the Islamic conquest the ultimate form of colonization? Let's hear what constitutes the ultimate form of colonization. Surely the ultimate form of colonization would be the British Empire because of the expanse that it held, the length that it endured, the amount of money was extracted from these places. Like, this idea that, you know, the idea that this is just like, yeah, the idea that this is just like some, like, you know, ultimate form of colonization is ridiculous. It's literally just slop. It's literally slop.
Kanye West is moral corrosion.
And also, by the way, look, she talks about actual anti-Semitism there. 5,000 likes. She looks like someone said she looks like an NPC. No, she does not look like an Oblivion NPC. She looks like someone's been messing around with the content creator, with the character creator on fucking Skyrim. I mean, like, bro, like, look, I I don't care. People can call me ugly all they want, and I'm surprised more people don't do it on the internet, because I grew up with being called a fucking triangle, saying I look like Sid the Sloth from Ice Age, that I got fucking bug eyes, and I wouldn't care because, like, you know, it was years at school. But, like, oh my god, you use filters and you look like I've been fucking fiddling around on the character creator.
Can we just make sure moving forwards that you never, ever, ever allow Mia to pick you up from the airport? Because look at this shit. Look at this shit.
Fucking Mia, you don't let Mia pick you up from the you don't let Mia pick you up from the airport, guys. I mean, what is her most popular video, right? What is her, like, most popular video? Shut up, you.
Your order?
Yeah, hi. Can I please get 67.9 caramel?
Oh, she's a eugenicist. By the way, you ever hear anyone talk about this? They're a eugenicist, Nazi-like fucker. Like, the 67.9 is based on a very dubious study, which I mentioned in one of my videos, the Alika Labon one. The study is bullshit, and by the way, it is establishing Palestinians as stupid human beings worthy of extermination. But of course, you know, to the anti-Semitism fighter, hee, funny joke, Muslims are colonizers, Muslims are colonizers. I can't, what even is her accent?
Caramel frappuccinos, grande. Trump hadn't seen the 43-minute October the 7th documentary. That was until Netanyahu went to visit him just a couple of days ago in the US. And within 24 hours of watching the documentary, Trump had defunded UNRWA, exited the Human Rights Council of the UN, completely...
I wonder if she... I always wonder that, because I think she is from London. I've never seen her at the counter-protest. Like, it's just insane, you know? Like, also, like, what is this hat?
He annihilated the idea of a two-state solution, decided to potentially annex Gaza as the 51st state of America, imposed paralysing sanctions on the Islamic Republic...
By the way, also, like, the idea that Trump watched the October the 7th video is literally just idiotic. It's just idiotic. Trump was the first ever American president during his first term to recognize Israeli settlements as, like, basically legal, as legal, and like, she's now like, oh, Trump watched a video of October the 7th and this changed everyone. It's like, oh, shut up, it's just rubbish. Like, Trump was always a genocidal, racist weirdo, and yeah, we won't have to watch anymore. I mean, it's just slop. Like, it's also mad because, like these videos have insane reach. Like, look at this. This has
Trump had,
this is from the 2nd of
Trump hadn't.
This is from the 2nd of the 5th of February. Obviously, my dates are switched around. But like, right, let's look at my let's even look at this. So a video for me to get the same has almost the double the amount of likes. Gary Lineker one has 6,040 views. This has 48,000 and 200,000. Like, honestly, it's a very different thing. It's just boosted by the algorithm. But yeah, I'm sure Trump was watching the video just playing on his phone, to be honest. But let's watch this now. This is awesome.
Percent of Muslims are radical, which amounts to, what, 220 million?
I actually hadn't heard the fact before that 20% of Muslims are radical.
Yeah,
where did you get that information from?
Oh, do you want me to tell you exactly the source?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I can't recall. I'm going through menopause, so my brain...
I'm going through menopause. I've got the menopause. It makes me a genocidal racist. The menopause give me the racism.
Up to 25%.
The menopause make me hate the Muslimics.
Okay. I'll show you.
No.
It's actually up to 25% of the Muslimics with the menopause.
This is really interesting.
Like, menopause is like a serious thing, right? And I'm not ridiculing that. It's more just like justifying being racist on having menopause, you know? I just want to be clear.
I like to learn you.
Yeah. And so, of course, the
Yeah, but also, look at this. This is like their counter-protest. This is just... Also, by the way, they say that, like, there are Hamas hate marches in London. This is also just, like, a straight-up celebration of killing people in Gaza and starving them, you know?
The Islamic regime, the IRGC...
Reverend Haley Ace never showed us the source of that statistic. So...
This is a good video, by the way, and this is what Middle East are moving more to... who is she? Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Oh, this is going to be awesome. She's got a whole, like, fucking Instagram account.
We fact-checked her and found it to be untrue. Can you tell me your name?
Also, what does it even fucking mean? Like, what does it actually mean? Like, what does it actually mean? Like, to say 20% of Muslims are radical. Radical about what? Like, radical about their opinions on charity? I mean, in comparison to most Britons, most Muslims are quite radical on that.
What you're doing here today.
Yeah, my name is Reverend Haley Ace. I'm a founder of...
Yeah, that is true, but I just, I mean, your point about menopause and, like, people behaving differently, I mean, sure, that is, like, a thing. But, like, I mean, I just don't think it's, like, a justification for basically saying shit like this or behaving like she is.
Christian Action Against Anti-Semitism, and I also help organise...
Yeah, exactly. People's mothers go through menopause and don't turn into, like, haters of Palestinians.
These protests, the counter...
Most 20% of Muslims are radical. Skating is really big in their community. If you go inside the mosque, it's actually just a giant bowl, and all the Muslims, instead of praying, are just dropping in and shit.
Protest with Stop the Hate. Today, the...
Yo, fucking radical, bro.
Palestinian Solidarity Campaign are marching under the guise of a Nakba Week of Action. The Nakba has been framed by those who hate Israel as a forced displacement of Palestinians from the land of Israel, when the actual historical, accurate truth is that 5 Arab armies surrounded the newly state of Israel with the intention to kill...
The Nakba began before the Arab armies surrounded Israel and was attacked. Domestic concern. Okay, I'll get back to you, domestic concern.
All the Jews. It's well recorded, it's historically accurate.
She's going through the hate flashes.
And the Arab armies reached out to all of the Arab villages and said, we're going to come in and kill the Jews, you need to leave. And once we've killed...
There's also, by the way, there is literally no evidence of this. No one has ever found evidence of this.
Them, you can come back and take their land and their homes. The Arabs that said, we don't want the Jews to die, we want to stay, now make up the 2 million Arab Israelis in the land of Israel right now.
That is the pro-Israel argument of what happened. We also spoke to a Palestinian to understand their version of history.
That's great to hear from her.
A British Palestinian, my grandparents and great-grandparents suffered, you know, they were displaced, they were killed, some of them.
I'm sure I've met this guy.
Family members. Following the 1948 and 1967 and the ongoing occupation and oppression of Palestinians. So we know that this didn't start on October 7th. We know this is an ongoing bloody chapter that's been taking place for more than 77 years now. So we're just here to showcase our solidarity and make sure that we keep up, showcase our solidarity to the Palestinians in the face of...
Look at this fucking guy. This is from their, like, pro-Israel protest. That's Natasha Hausendorf, who's just like a genocidal fuck lawyer, who's a member of the people who said that the blockade was actually good for it, good for Gaza. And then that's Colonel Richard Kemp, that guy who was on there, like, doing really weird Hasbara. Goodbye, Majee. Have a good rest of the day. But, like, sorry, I'm really sorry. I just couldn't resist, like, giggling at this Colonel Richard Kemp. Like, who are these people? Colonel Richard Kemp, justifier of genocide. Oh my god, it's him. His name's David Collier. He is sinister looking fuck. Menopause nutritionist Paola. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, look at that. Who is designing this? Who is designing this? Stop the hate campaign against anti-Semitism. Nordahiri, Colonel Richard Kemp. It's pretty concerning that, you know, like, this guy was a colonel in Afghanistan, Richard Kemp. Has this woman only been posting for like a week or something? What did she even post? Oh, is my internet not working? Fuck.
Radical, which amounts to what, 220 million?
I actually hadn't heard the fact before that 20% are radical.
Of course, not all of them are radicals. The majority of them are peaceful people. The radicals
Source: video from the Heritage Foundation.
are estimated to be between 15 to 25%, according to all intelligence services around the world.
According to all intelligence services around the world. All intelligence services around the world. There's not a citation here. It's just saying all intelligence services say that.
That leaves 75% of them peaceful people. But when you look at 15 to 25% of the world Muslim population, you're looking at 180 million to 300 million people dedicated to the destruction of Western civilization.
More than 80% Muslims are not extremists. No extremists. Only these 20% or less than 20%. Now their people have hijacked the core peaceful principle of Islam. This is a problem. We Muslims.
The other source, this guy who agrees with me,
are facing a huge problem because we who support Israel, we are fighting two wars. One war along with you against Islamist Hamas. Second war, we are fighting within Islam. We are in more danger because we promote Islam, peaceful Islam, but they promote Islamism, political Islam, which is a completely opposite.
Also, political Islam is a very wide thing. Just saying, and also, how is political Islam not peaceful? Like, Morsi in Egypt was not like a peaceful, he was not like a violent guy. He was like a Democrat. Like, why are you saying political Islam? It is just shite that goes to appeal to really just shitty, horrible people.
Let me say this in English.
Oh no! She's got the UAE's foreign minister. What a trustworthy source. One of the most authoritarian, horrifying countries in the world. Yeah, bro. He says what I want to hear, though. He says what I want to hear. It's okay. We can trust Abdullah bin Zayed. He's a dickhead. He's a piece of shit who sponsors genocide. Like, honestly, you sit there and you kind of tell me, like, oh, you know, these Muslims are radical. And this constitutes a source for the Rev Haley Ace. This is Instagram Zioslop.
You can understand what I'm saying.
I have translation.
No, I know you have translation, but I just want to make sure you get it right. There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremists and terrorists coming out of Europe because of lack of decision-making.
What do you mean by the politicization of Judaism? I'm not sure what you mean by those words, to question it.
Trying to be politically correct or assuming that they know the Middle East and they know Islam and they know the others far better than we do. And I'm sorry, but that's pure ignorance.
I do. Standing with everyone, standing for truth against radicals. Remember that Muslims suffer extreme violence from radicals. Free Palestine from Hamas. Free Nigeria from Boko Haram. Free Lebanon from Hezbollah. Free Egypt. Why are you even saying free Egypt from the Muslim Brotherhood? The government there killed 1,000 people in one day. Like, and represses its people horribly. The Muslim Brotherhood are basically marginalized as a group. Like, honestly, I genuinely think that these are people who are just, who would believe anything. Free the world from terrorism and Islamists. Peace, love, and unity for all. Good people of all faiths and none. Let's stick together.
But not least is,
Oh, so this, like, sort of woman with the lowest IQ in the world is sort of, the organizer of this.
lady who doesn't need an introduction, but I'm going to anyway.
I'm not watching Natasha fucking Hausendorff's speech. Like, that is not to be woke, but I think religion should motivate law. No, religion probably shouldn't motivate law, and the Islamist principles, like the program of Morsi and stuff, sort of failed. But at the same time, democracy in the West, if Western governments want democracy to develop in the way that it did in the West, which is kind of not going to happen, at this point they have to allow local Islamic parties who are willing to commit to democracy to have a place within that. But continually they haven't allowed that, and it isn't actually in recent years because of us, so to speak. It is because of fucking the United Arab Emirates, who literally are undergirded by people like this who have no understanding of the Middle East. There's a couple of things that I want to watch because I'll stream for a bit longer tonight because I'm kind of in the mood for it. As a culture rather than explicitly political, which I think bleeds into Jewish religious practices for a variety of reasons. Zionism, there was a mode of Zionism that was cultural to an extent, proposed by people like Asher Ginsburg. Ahad Ham was what he went by, and Herzl even to some... No, Herzl not really, but a different thing. But yeah, apparently I'm getting an IOF vet as my new housemate at the end of the month. What do I do, lol? Leave the fucking house. Leave that, meet your local IDF vet. Salute him. Give him a salute every time he walks through the door. Ask him why he killed babies every day. And even if he goes, actually, I was just in the non-killing baby department, just tell him to fuck off. That was actually more South African than it was Israeli. Shout out to this is also quite based. The Spanish Prime Minister called for an Israel ban at the Eurovision, so that's pretty cool at least. So that's pretty something that we can at least kind of be excited about. Yeah, report him to the Hind Rashab Foundation. Fuck the IOF. What was I looking at? Oh yeah. So this is about we're now back to some more really awesome, succinct political analysis. This is about JD Vance. I mean, as I said, I would take somewhat of Zay Squirrel's position, just maybe perhaps some of it with a pinch of salt, because I think she's quite condescending, or they're quite condescending here. Someone told me that I should stop assuming that it's a woman. But yeah, don't leave. He can't steal another house. Were you a theatre kid? No, I was not a theatre kid. I didn't do any theatre at all, ever. So no, I'm not a theatre kid. The joint statement. Let me see. So this is the joint statement released by government. We strongly oppose the expansion of Israel's military operation in Gaza. The level of human suffering is intolerable. I won't read it in a silly voice. Yesterday's announcement that Israel will allow basic quantity of food into Gaza is wholly inadequate. We call on the Israeli government to stop its military operation in Gaza and immediately allow humanitarian aid to enter Gaza. This must include engaging with the UN to ensure a return to the delivery of aid in line with humanitarian principles. We call on Israel to we call on Hamas to immediately release the remaining hostages they have so cruelly held since October the 7th. Okay, bro, what about Israel? How old is Chris? I'm not 17, I'm 24. That's how old I actually am. Yeah, it's just imagining Keir Starmer saying this. Yeah. Co-ops also. It would be better if like somewhere like fucking Morrison's or something like that where you can actually do your weekly shop did it. Would be helpful instead of fucking this. The Israeli government's denial of essential humanitarian assistance to the civilian population is unacceptable and risks breaching international humanitarian law. We condemn the abhorrent language used recently by members of the Israeli government, threatening that in their despair at the destruction of Gaza, civilians will start to relocate. Permanent forced displacement is a breach of international humanitarian law. Israel suffered a heinous attack on October the 7th. We have always supported Israel's right to defend itself against defend Israelis against terrorism, not even itself now, but the escalation is wholly disproportionate. The entire Gaza genocide was disproportionate, And why is it that Israel suffered a heinous act, but Israel's campaign of starvation only risks breaching international humanitarian law? We will not stand by while the Netanyahu government pursues these egregious actions. If Israel does not cease the renewed military offensive and lift its restrictions on humanitarian aid, we will take further concrete actions in response. What are further concrete actions? What are further concrete actions? He goes by Queer Stalin, actually, according to the Reform voters. Guys, you'll better be smashing that MF like button, or else there's going to be hell to pay. We oppose any attempt to expand settlements in the West Bank. Well, you don't really. Israel must halt settlements that are illegal and undermine the viability of a Palestinian state and security of both Israelis and Palestinians. We will not hesitate to take further action. We will not hesitate to take further action. Like, what do you mean, take further action? It's already fucking happening. Yeah, Queer Stalin is too cool of a nickname. It's just a funny nickname because it's what the Reform voters call him, as if he's some kind of really, like, you know, left-wing, pro-gay rights kind of guy. He doesn't give a fuck about the LGBTQ+. They've rolled back trans people's rights. We strongly support the efforts led by the US. Like, listen to this. They can't even condemn US. These cunts are such fucking bootlickers of Israel and its fucking lackeys that they aren't even willing to condemn basically to condemn the United States. They're just bootlickers. There's nothing more to it. But like, at least they're demanding a halt to the I'm not using it as an insult. It's just funny because it's what Reform voters call him, and it's obviously not true. So I can just catch up to the video where you guys are at. We strongly support the efforts led by US, Qatar, and Egypt to secure an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. It is a ceasefire, the release of remaining hostages, and a long-term political solution that offer the best hopes of ending the agony of the hostages and their families, alleviating the suffering of civilians in Gaza, ending Hamas's control of Gaza, and achieving a pathway to a two-state solution, consistent with the goals of the June 18th conference co-chaired by Saudi Arabia and France. These negotiations need to succeed, and we must all work towards the implementation of a two-state solution, which is the only way to bring long-lasting peace. It's just a word salad. Like, this is just a repetition of the two things. We will continue to work with the Palestinian Authority, regional partners, Israel and the US. Like, what is this? Thank you, Sunflower Dragon, for your incredibly kind donation. We affirm the important role of the high-level two-state solution conference at the United Nations in June in building international consensus around this aim. And we are committed to recognising a Palestinian state as a contribution to achieving a two-state solution. And are prepared to work towards others. I mean, it's dog shit, isn't it? It's like slightly better than what they've said recently, but like, it's dog shit. It's dog shit. Like, and the West proved again that they can basically get Israel to do things, but they're just not going to do it. Like, they're just not going to do it. They're just not interested. So apparently, Israel has targeted the power generators of the Indonesian hospital in Gaza, cutting off electricity completely. I mean, like, this, you hear that statement and you see what Israel is doing. It's just such a fucking joke. It's just such an absolute, complete and utter joke, you know? Sir Keir Starmer refused
to ask you about what's happening in Gaza. The UN's aid chief has warned action from the UN Security Council is needed to, quote, prevent genocide in the Gaza Strip. Do you think it is genocide? And can you, in good conscience, stand there as a leader and say you have done all you can?
It is a really serious, unacceptable, intolerable situation. And that's why we are working intensely to coordinate with other leaders how we respond to this, because
yeah, like I feel like it's a bit late to respond when Israel is currently starving millions of people and they just don't give a fuck. They just like don't give a fuck.
it is intolerable, it is unacceptable, and we will continue to work in that way.
On Gaza, the humanitarian situation in Gaza is unacceptable. For 2 months now, no humanitarian supplies have entered Gaza.
No humanitarian sides. No humanitarian has entered Gaza. Why has no humanitarian aid entered Gaza? It's like they say the situation is intolerable. They are unwilling to actually name the aggressor. I once read about this recently. So the Field sisters, who wrote this book called Racecraft, apparently talk about this. What they say is that most people would hear the statement, and I included, would hear the statement that black people were segregated for their skin colour, and they wouldn't actually, think about it. But that statement is problematic in the sense that black people weren't actually segregated for their skin colour. They were segregated by white people because white people maintained a system of racism that exploited black people. And that statement makes it seem like black people did something wrong. And these statements just are unwilling to basically confront, hey, this is what... these statements do not engage with what Israel is doing.
Aid must reach civilians in need immediately. And the blockade on Gaza needs to be lifted now, because humanitarian aid must never be politicized.
So what? You're working with the US and Israel, who have a plan to politicize humanitarian aid?
And we are calling for a resumption of the ceasefire and the immediate release of the hostages, so that a permanent end of the hostilities can be finally achieved.
But it's just completely incongruent. It's crap. It's like these, as I said earlier, it's like the people who focus specifically on, the protests and act as if that's going to end it. The truth is if they are killed, if they are released, Israel's still going to go on. This is openly what they say.
We are convinced that the only solution is the two-state solution. This needs a...
Also, by the way, someone just shared this article, and I mean, it's quite interesting. We'll go back to that in a second. Sorry, I just want to talk about this for a second. So, ostensibly, Israel provided no evidence that the airstrike on the Euro hospital, which killed dozens of civilians, killed Sinwar. And yet, there he is in the wreckage, thanks to the Jerusalem Post cracked graphics team. I'm not sure I'd call this a cracked graphics team. It's a pretty odd thing to fucking edit, but yeah, the evidence wasn't even from the hospital, as that person just noted down there. But also, by the way, just the fact that they, look at the claim, they discovered Sinwar's secret meeting after Ed and Alexander released. And also, by the way, this is just a fucking lie. Sinwar is believed to have been a hardline figure in Hamas who refused any compromise. The key compromise is Hamas don't want to disarm because they know that Israel is going to expel people.
Among others, also a functioning Palestinian Authority.
The Palestinian Authority is a dogshit colonial tool with one goal, which is to further Israel's aims.
We are strongly supporting and financing the Palestinian Authority. And we as a commission will propose a multi-annual package now of 1.6 billion euros for the years 25, 26, 27 to support the Palestinian Authority.
As the Prime Minister said, as also said, is unacceptable. Israel must stop now immediately. The Hamas needs to release immediately all the hostage, and we need all together as international community to help the parts to build the two-state solution, the only one who can assure.
It's just crap, isn't it? Like this is just what you have to hear. Like just these people talking as if they give a fuck about anything happening. They don't give a fuck about anything happening. So this is Smotrich, so we can watch it. I mean.
לא נכנס לחמאס, נקודה. כל מי שאומר דבר אחר פשוט משקר. אני באמת לא יודע מה המניע שלו. אני הרי זה שהובלתי את הדרישה לחדול מהאיוולת של הכנסת...
It's going too fast. I'll just read their summary. So only the minimum will be allowed. Bakeries distributing pittas, a daily portion of cooked food. Citizens in Gaza will get a pitta and a plate of food. And that's it. That's exactly what we see in the videos. People standing in line waiting for a plate of soup. The purpose, he admitted, is not relief, but is optics. It allows the world to continue providing us with international protection. Like, listen to their statements there. Like, it's clear that this is... there. Do you think the PA could be reformed, or is it inherently colonial? It's... The Palestinian, and by the way, all of these people who talk about like Hamas barbarity, Hamas killing innocent protesters who just want democracy, the PA do all of this shit. The PA is a tool of Israel. Perhaps it could one day be reformed, but it's really hard to say. I've got to be honest. I've really got to be honest with you. Like, maybe if you had different leaders, but it's kind of part of like a failed way of dealing with Palestinian liberation that needs to move towards the whole of Palestine and not just one tiny part where they're given like some fake self-rule. Because as long as Israel has control over the PA's taxes and all this stuff, it can never be reformed. It can never, ever, ever be reformed. And any reform which would be positive in our opinion, or in our opinion, would be reform that is basically that is just impossible because Israel wouldn't allow it. We are annihilating everything that remains in the Gaza Strip, simply because it is one big city of terror. By the way, this is the kind of trafficking, these are the points that Lonerbox and stuff traffic in, like saying, oh, they had to blow up every house. He describes the new military strategy as one of permanent occupation. No more raids with ins and outs. We are conquering, clearing, and staying until Hamas is destroyed. He welcomed the shift. The IDF is finally conducting a campaign against the civilian rule of Hamas, eliminating ministers. This is also just fucking insane. The civilian ministers don't actually fight against Israel. They're just like, yeah, we're eliminating everything there. They're governmental apparatus. Boasting of the scale of destruction. We are dismantling Gaza, leaving it in ruins with unprecedented destruction, and the world still hasn't stopped us. Like, look, he speaks about this with glee. He added that personally he would prefer a total blockade. Until the last of the hostages, we should not let water into the Gaza Strip. Smotrich endorsed ethnic cleansing. The population will reach the south of the Strip. From there, God willing, to third countries as part of Trump's plan. And it's just like I have to listen to shit about hostages and October the 7th. Like, this is what I have to listen to. It's just utterly ridiculous, isn't it? The concrete action. Like, you can't just warn Israel. You have to take concrete action now. You know? Like, that's the truth of it. Like, you have to take very concrete action against Israel now. Like, yeah. And once again, like, this allowing aid. I'm going to make a TikTok about this after I'm done here. But yeah, like, just listening to this is fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. Right. I'm probably going to head towards ending the stream here because I'm kind of... oh yeah, shit, good point. Some Israelis I think you could classify as prisoners of war, but I think Palestinians should be classified. Right, I'm probably going to end the stream because I'm kind of done with things to talk about. And also I kind of realised that the number of people in here is probably reduced today by the fact of, like, you know, lots of people are watching Noah, and I think Westside Tyler's also streaming. But if I could recommend one thing, it's that if you're done here, go over and watch Noah, because Noah's doing a great thing and a great cause. And so, yeah, thank you all for coming today. I'm going to be live again tomorrow, and I'll probably be live every day this week up until Friday, because I'm taking the weekend off, and then I'll probably be off on Monday because I'm going and doing something. So, thank you all for coming. I hope you all have a lovely evening, and see you all tomorrow. If there's anything you'd like me to react to and stuff, send it to me on Instagram or on here. You can message my Instagram account, which is just Chris Kunster. It should be very easy to find. I have a lot of followers. So yeah, thank you. Have a good rest of the day.